So in Las Vegas, there's this 911 call, which a lot of people should be aware of right now because it's in the mainstream media. Um, Apparently, I think it's in Las Vegas. This family, they had some beings land in their backyard with their spaceship, and there's video on TikTok. It's hard to see though, but they witnessed these beings being like 8 foot tall, 10 foot tall. They just described them, and you don't really want to prank call 911. The police showed up. I guess, yeah, there's this video of something looking like it fell from the sky or leaving, that the cops caught. And it's kind of, people are debating where are these hoaxes. The government has always been secretive about this type of thing, and they've always denied. I see Elon Musk tweeting that he has seen no signs of them. You have people who, there was this unidentified flying object that it's a video a few years ago that the military plane or whatever was kind of tracking. It looked like a triangle. And is this the government trying to distract us? Probably. I think, well, here's a personal experience that I've had in my own life. Me and my buddy, we were, it was back in the 90s, so we didn't have cell phones and stuff like that, obviously. So we were bored and we're just looking up in the sky and laying on the back of the car. I used to do that time to time, just look at the stars and just look up at the sky. And there's like this object going slow. It was in the daytime too, broad daytime, broad daylight, maybe around noon, something like that. It was going slow, and you could see it. It looked like it was way too high to be a plane. So, like a big satellite, it probably looked like. But all of a sudden, it just went, it was gone. Perhaps that's something that our own government or somebody else's government made. I don't think that there's any other government that's as, this is the Chinese government, but back then, like, I don't think they were as advanced as we were. At that time, I think that we were the most advanced country in the world for when it comes to technology wise. But you never know what type of classified secrets other countries have. I personally think that there is intelligent beings besides us out there somewhere. I think that we are given limited information. So for me to be absolute, I think that I think that I don't think that we just evolved. I think we have evolved, but I think that we were created and we've evolved from that creation. I think there's some type of a creator. I don't know what type of creator that is or what it is. When you have hieroglyphs from like I think Egypt, and there's like a helicopter, looks like some type of a spaceship. We can't make pyramids to this day, but they made them back then. You know, they wear those weird head things, and I think that if there were intelligent, I think there probably is intelligent entities that are monitoring us, monitoring our planet, seeing how fast we're progressing, seeing that we are affecting things. The Hadron Collider, messing with atoms, nuclear weapons, probably makes them very worried, concerned. I'm not sure how people would react if they did present themselves. It's weird, but you know, that's why I keep an open mind, because I understand that I don't know everything. There's a hell of a lot that I don't know. Not just me, but humans. We think we know, and we can't trust all the information that we've been given our whole lives. Like with wars, well, who writes the history? Well, the victors always write the history, and they always paint themselves as the good guy. That's just what happens. I think if we do have technology that can help everybody, whether it's Tesla's free energy invention, whether it's running cars on water, technology that could be suppressed by big companies because they want to continuously make profit. I think that it's time that we cut that out. I think it's time for these, if they have this type of knowledge, if we can make free energy for everybody, if we can feed everybody and shelter everybody, we need to do it. Now, humans, I'm not talking about, I'm like, why are we suppressing this technology? That's what I'm saying. For corporate greed, for power. It's just immature at this point. Let's just go to war. Keep on with the wars. And there are cultures in this world that want to dominate, and they want power. It's just continuous power. and they want to implement what they want. We humans are so immature, we can't compromise. Look at America, look how divided we are in America. Look at how the demographics are really bad. How people don't respect each other. How you can find the perfect partner, but if they don't go along with whatever political belief you have, they're just gone. You can't negotiate. And if you can't negotiate, if you can't compromise, that shows immaturity, that shows weakness, and that shows insecurity. I want complete power. If we have, that's so, having complete power over the whole world in one person's hands, it's just too much. It's too much responsibility. It's too much. It's too much for one person to have. Now, being a spokesman is fine. Kind of like the president, but we need to get off of this old way of thinking. The way we still need systems and where you get rewarded based off innovation, based off of hard work. But if we can alleviate some of these things like free energy, unlimited free energy, that would be great. And we still need people to maintain the infrastructure, and these people should be compensated. And when I say everyone should be able to be taken care of medically, it should, that's what we should be striving for. We should be striving for, if people want, I know it sounds like a socialist utopia, but the problem is here's the problem with the right, is they say we don't want abortions at all. We don't want people getting abortions. But, and we shouldn't just be giving people free stuff. People need to be educated. People need to be, not re-education camps, but some people aren't brought up right. People need to be taught respect. People need to be taught how to live. But if you're going to not want any abortions and then just be like, we're not helping you at all, we're just gonna let you and your kids starve. It's kind of like, where's your values? It's like you're sentencing those people to death. And we don't have that problem here in America, but other countries do. It's just a slower and painful death. But it's okay, because you feel morally superior about yourself. I can understand some of the left's argument. You say you care about kids, you don't want kids to be killed in the womb, and abortions are highly barbaric. I personally think that people need just to, if they're going to have sex, they need to be they need to protect themselves, the man and the woman, and not be irresponsible. But we should strive to make sure everyone on the planet has access to great medical care. We should make strives to make sure that we can cure all of the diseases, whether it's nanobots going through our body to clean up things that our body can't clean up. If you don't want to participate, you don't want to participate. It might not be the greatest standard of living, right? And I'm not saying that people should have to live in shacks. But there's, like the housing crisis. Okay, so here we have a problem with commercial real estate collapse. That's the next thing, kind of like the housing crisis back in 2008. Well, we're gonna have a commercial building problem pretty soon. Well, you can convert those old malls or those office buildings into residential areas. I was looking at a map of Detroit, and I see it's like squares where houses used to be. They're just vacant lots. We need to do something about cleaning up our cities. Our cities should be immaculate here. They should be the beacon. If we're so rich, they should be like the most beautiful cities on the planet. Low crime or no crime. Just, they don't smell like spoiled milk. There's not trash everywhere. There's not homeless people everywhere. And I personally think that there's people who want complete power over the whole world that want us to fail. They want, because if America fails, that's it. They will have complete control. They want these cities, these places to be so worthless so they can come up and buy it on pennies on the dollar, just like the stock market back in the Depression. You want to manipulate situations so you're not in these communities, or you're not in this stock, so it goes down to nothing basically. Come in, buy it up, the value goes up, and you redo it. I'm not advocating for no Green New Deal. I definitely have a problem with these climate crisis people. They live this lavish lifestyle, and they want to tell us we have to live like peasants. Now, if they're so concerned about everything, then they should be giving up their lavish lifestyle and living off grid, living like a common. But they don't. They would continue to have huge palaces. I personally wouldn't want one. Hypothetically, if I was just rich tomorrow, which was never going to happen, but hypothetically, if it just miraculously happened, I wouldn't want a huge house. I wouldn't mind having a bunch of land, but I'm fine having a small place. I don't need a ton of stuff. This whole materialism thing is just old. That's why I like the digital world. The digital world is so much more fun. And you can say, oh, you're a loser. Well, listen, man. If you look at something like the NBA, you know, I like to play video games. I like to simulate what it would be like if I was a star on a sports team. That's fun to me. Will that ever happen in real life for me? No. You know how hard that is to happen in anyway? Even if you were to get on there and possibly, you know, reach your goals of being a professional sports athlete, right? Well, injuries happen. Chances are of you being like a Tom Brady is to even make it anyway, and to be like a Tom Brady is zilch, man. That ain't ever gonna happen. So it's fun to, it's kind of like watching a movie or something to me. My whole point is, like, I don't like having stuff, man. Like, I had weights for the longest time, and weights are a lot of money. I like the concept of going to a gym and just renting theirs, because their weights were way better than what I had. I had to store the weights. And I don't mind renting their weights. It's like this whole notion of you'll own nothing, you'll be happy. I like that a little bit. For me, I feel like I've always been living like that anyway. Renting a house, renting an apartment, yeah. It's kind of like, okay, if I was to buy a house, which I can't ever own anyway, because I always have to pay property taxes on it. I don't have all the responsibility that the owner does with them owning it. I don't have all the responsibility. They have to take care of it. But there is drawbacks, because me as a person, I'll do the bare minimum to maintain what I have there. But I'm not gonna go above and beyond. Like, if you was to own something, most people are gonna take care of their stuff better. Me, I'm kind of evolved past all that, where I can maintain what I have. Kind of like when you're like an hourly worker, right? You do enough to not get fired or be talked to by leadership. Because why go above and beyond where you're going to get paid the same either way? So you do enough to maintain what you have. And not everybody's going to agree with me. I don't blame them. Like I said, I'm kind of like ahead of the curve. I almost feel like I was born earlier. I feel like I'm a little bit ahead of my time. Not a lot, just a little bit. Maybe I should be a Zoomer. But I don't like having to fix things. You know, my apartment. I don't know if I said this in my... Yeah, I think I talked about this, but I didn't upload the video. I don't have as many I don't have as many responsibilities. I have so many bills renting a house. I had to pay for trash pickup, I had to pay for sewage, for water, for gas, for rent. I had to pay for, what else? Power. Also internet. I mean, I pay for that now, but you kind of have to have internet to some point nowadays. You don't have to. You can survive without it, but it kind of feels like prehistoric times. Now I rent a place, right? It's an apartment. Everything is like really convenient. Granted, renting the house, the owner would have to come and fix things just like they do renting an apartment, but I only have to pay rent and electricity. I don't have to worry about mowing the grass. I don't have to worry about shoveling the sidewalk with snow or salting it. I don't have to worry about, so those are two expenses I don't have to pay. Now those are minimum, they ain't that much, but I don't have to worry about that. And my bill's rent. I just have to pay one bill, rent and electricity, and that's it. That's it. I don't have to sit down, and it doesn't take that long, but it's still every month I would have to sit here and either, which I don't have checks. I haven't had checks for like 10 years, but I would call and have to spend like an hour of my month just paying bills, and it's just annoying, man. I find snail mail just annoying. I'd rather things just come out automatically and not have to think about it, not have to worry about it. Kind of like how my paycheck just goes in my checking account. I don't think about it, just happens. I don't have to transport the check to the bank and then go have them put it in my check. No, it just automatically goes in. I like that automatic, because maybe some people are nostalgic about that, but I think paying bills is something I don't want to think about. I don't want to think about it. I just want it to come out. Now I want to see statements, and if there's a problem, if all of a sudden, when I'm usually charged $150 a month for electricity, all of a sudden I'm charged $500, I want to see why I'm charged that. So I want to see irregularities, but I just want it to be automatic, and pretty much we're at the point where it should all pretty much be automatic at this point anyway. Everything's pretty much monopolized, it seems like. So everything should just be automatic. I don't want to think like people, when you have kids and you got a family, you're pretty much running a business. You have all these expenses, blah blah blah. I lived my life for so long, and I had to do this because my kids needed a parent at home, so I couldn't work a ton of extra overtime or get a second job. But it's pretty much whatever I earned, I didn't care about, man. It went right to the bills anyway, so I didn't even think about it. It's not like I looked at counting my money like I'm Scrooge McDuck, because I didn't make extra. Now I'm in a point in my life where I can work a lot extra, and it's fine. But it's just, man, I like some of the concepts that the New World Order talks about. I don't like the control. I don't like them shutting me off because I talk about something that they don't want me to talk about. I don't like that. But I like some of the innovations in lifestyle where, yeah, you know, like, okay, look at video games or renting a movie, because most people rent movies. Instead of actually owning the movie, which there's beneficial things to owning stuff, but it's like, how many times do you watch a movie? Like, you usually watch a movie one time and that's it. So what's the point of owning it? There's not a lot. So if you owned every single movie that you ever watched, you'd have this huge library of movies, spend a bunch of extra money. So there is good things when it comes to renting, like video games. You know, you play a video game a couple months if you're really interested in it, and then you get bored of it. You don't ever play it again. So now you own the game. It's like, dude, I could have just rented it on some kind of streaming platform. So, you know, for me, I don't mind the whole notion of renting things. I just want to be able to get paid for what I do properly, and that's it. Just be compensated correctly, and have freedoms. Like, I wouldn't mind living in one of these 15-minute cities. I wouldn't, as long as I can come and go as I please. I don't mind spending a lot of my time in the digital reality. I do anyway. And honestly, most people do. You know, when you get these conservatives that say, oh, get off your this and that, but they're making all this money off their YouTube channel. So if we all followed their advice, they'd have no viewers. They won't be making no more money. Because it's just a narrative. I think that you gotta have a balance. There's a balance to everything in life. You know? So I don't mind living in the digital reality, but I want to come in and out of it as I please. There's good things and bad things about everything in life. You gotta take the good with the bad. Shutting me off because I can, you know, from society, and turning all my funds off because I'm wanted for a heinous crime. Yeah, okay, that's understandable. But because I speak out against the government or people in charge because they could do a better job about things, and then shutting me, I don't agree with that. I think that's a bad way to go, because what we should do as humans is we want to keep progressing to bettering ourselves. I see the dangers of the digital reality for people where they just become sentient. Well, they already are sentient, where they just sit around all the time. And they gain a bunch of fat using a bunch of resources. That's not good. Because what happens, like, you see kids and people who are starving in other countries, but we're sitting over here overeating. Or companies just throwing out good food. People throw out so much food too, like, they overmake stuff and then they just toss it. And a lot of American families just do that, like, on a nightly basis. They make too much and they just throw it away. They don't eat leftovers, no nothing. I pretty much eat whatever I buy, almost just about basically everything. I spent my time, my hard-earned time, gathering those resources. I don't like to see them go to waste, unless, you know, something I forgot about in the fridge, and it's like past date. Of course, I didn't get around to it, but I try to use up my resources, because it takes my time to earn that shit, man. It takes my time doing something I don't want to be doing to earn the funds to pay for that. So I don't like to see it go to waste. We definitely, when people become overweight and unhealthy, they go to the doctor a lot. That becomes a strain on our health system, and then we all have to pay for that. And if you want to live that lifestyle, you should have to pay for that. I shouldn't have to. My insurance, since I don't ever go, like, I try to avoid the doctor. I try to heal things on my own. If I can, I'll go for sure, but I try to live a healthy lifestyle. I try to better myself. When people are given complete freedom, the average person, they will take things to the extreme. That's why you see people who are 1,000 pounds. 1,000 pounds. That should never happen. If you can't get out of your own house, if you can't even get up, if you can't get up to get those resources yourself, let those people sit there. Somebody's obviously allowing that to happen. And obviously this person has extreme emotional problems. To be able to allow yourself to get that big is crazy. There should be more incentives for people being healthy too. I don't mind a company, the insurance company or whatever, monitoring me. I don't mind wearing some type of device where maybe they pay for my gym membership. That would be cool. As long as, like, you know, they could see how much they monitor how much I do, how much I exercise, how much I sleep, how much I eat. They monitor this. It could just be AI that does it, but I don't mind that, as long as I have to pay for minimal health insurance, or possibly none at all, or possibly I get paid to be healthy. Now I think that we could end up in that position where people are paid to work out, paid to be healthy. We need to have some type of system, because if everything is in abundance, people will take it to the extreme. Think of it like you're in like some type of a video game, and you have all your favorite foods everywhere, and you can eat all of it. Anything that you see you can eat. It tastes like your favorite foods. You're not gonna eat the whole thing of whatever. Like, you might see something on the ground, like this tree right here. It could just be like taste like cherry. I could just take a bite. I might take a bite out of this, take a bite out of that. You know, this house, take a bite out of the house, bite here, bite there, because it's infinite, and there's no And like a video game, it can just be regenerated. Well, in this realm, in this earth, stuff can't just be regenerated, and it takes a lot of manpower, takes a lot of resources to make things so we can physically consume them. And things need to be held and respected in this realm a lot more than what we are doing. Just continuously eating and then wasting. I can't, like I said, I can't stand waste. Whatever meat I buy, I make sure that's the #1 priority of consumption. I hate seeing meat go to waste. That's my #1 thing, is seeing meat go to waste. Because yes, other things were alive at one point too, but that's #1 priority. Something died for me that I can kind of relate to. You know what I mean? I can, because that's an animal. I'm an animal. So I have a lot of respect. It died so I can continue to go forward. And a lot of animals, well, they'll kill to continue to go forward too. But I still respect it. Something had to die for me. And even if I was just a straight vegan, something would have to die for me. That's what we should be doing, is just respecting this place more, and people don't. And I think that's extremely sad. And that's it.